New Mexico CannaCast. Everything New Mexico, everything cannabis.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the NMCannaCast. Everything New Mexico, everything cannabis. I'm Shannon. I'm one of your three hosts. And here's Chad and Josh. Chad?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's episode. Thank you for joining us, for listening, for tuning in, for watching, wherever you're watching. Thank you again, Shannon. Thanks for doing the intro. And Josh, go on ahead.
Woo! What's going on, everybody? It's Josh. I know it looks a little different today. Yeah, I'm in my bedroom. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, so we have quarantined, whatever. Me running around for the most part.
Sterilized and quarantined.
Oh, sterilized. Yeah, I'm about to say it. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, Lysol's right there. Hope Lysol sponsored. Yeah. Anyways, everything good, guys. Sorry, it's been a crazy morning. We've had meetings all morning, and like I said, feeling under the weather, but all good things here. We have a great show, and I'm super excited. Yes.
Awesome. Well, appreciate it, Josh. Well, I guess we'll get into the episode. And Shannon actually brought this up to me earlier, and it was more or less of a third-party story. It wasn't directly from a person. They heard it from somebody else, and then brought it to Shannon. And in the intel world, we call it indirect intel. And so, Shannon, go ahead and give this story to us.
Sure thing. So I was talking with somebody in the community, and we're looking to have this individual on one of our next episodes so we can really talk this out. And it was come to my attention that some companies have opened their doors, dispensaries, retail operations mostly. And it's come to my attention that some are either not serving patients or actually flat out putting a sign outside on their front door saying they don't accept medical cards. I haven't seen any of this. This individual has, and they've been encouraging patients to contact the Department of Health if they see these signs, because as we all know, according to the Cannabis Regulation Act, by law, we have to provide 25% of what we have on our shelves, minimum 25% to the patients, right? So as retail dispensary owners, licensed businesses, we really can't get around that. And so putting a sign on the door flat out kind of just says that you are not following the law. It's to me, right, alongside of other messages that this sends to the patient community. So I'm interested to hear more about it. And if anybody who's listening or watching has any stories, let us know. I actually have on the flip side of things where some establishments are trying to provide 75 to 80% to patients, right? So we have stories coming in all over the place, but I'm really interested in educating and helping people to understand that legal piece and how it works and why it's important to cater to the patient population.
Education is key. I'm with you there, and it just, people being new into business maybe don't understand, and you definitely don't want to discriminate against the patient community, because that just won't work well for you at any aspect, especially in New Mexico.
Yeah.
So, like I said, rumor has it, we'll get more information on it. If anybody runs into it, send us an email with some pictures or something to the email, just to, wherever it's at and all that fun stuff. That'd be interesting, because I would definitely, if wherever it's at and I'm in the area, I would go check it out personally myself. So
Yeah, and that's a great idea, because in the law, they are supposed to serve patients. There's no license where you're just recreational and no medical. It's either medical, recreational, or medical. There's no one or the other. So you're either medical, recreational, or you're medical. There's no other way around it, guys. That's the way they wrote the law, because we wanted to keep the patients in mind. And yes, we understand 25%, maybe not enough for certain people, but flat out telling people no, that's wrong. And I haven't experienced it yet personally. Josh hasn't either, and Shannon. So if you guys do and you have had a story of like this, let us know, please. Like Josh said, hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the email. Josh is just being old school, mentioning the email. We're all over the place. We even have Discord. If you guys want to get on Discord and say something there, by all means, message there. You can message me privately there if you'd like. And we also have the NMCannaCast group, and you could post there, whatever, send us a message from there. So yeah, that's unfortunate if that is happening. What do you think that the cause of that would be, Shannon? Like, what would someone's mind be thinking when they're saying, I'm not going to serve patients? So what could be the reason for that?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question. I'm encouraged to have those conversations and to discuss it from, a business owner perspective and then a branding perspective.
Mhm.
And, we want everybody that's listening today and that participates in the NMCannaCast to know that we're not looking to police people, but we are looking to kind of guide people around things. I know Josh wants to kind of police a little bit and kind of have a community effort, and I understand that, but what we're looking to do is not call these people out, I guess is what I mean, and point to them and say, this is wrong and you suck. It's more like, why would you do this? And how can we help you to understand how important it is to cater to the patients, to have, a patient product available and to welcome them into your doors, right? I don't know what the cause would be other than it's challenging right now for a lot of the retail establishments, unless they have their own supply and access
Mhm.
to access a lot of the products that they would put on their shelves for patients right now. So
Yeah.
that comes to mind. Under education and not knowing how to interpret law and policy, that comes to mind. And flat out just starting so quickly that they're not stopping and putting these standards in place, right? And so everybody's rushing. And so if I really had to look at it, I try to peel those layers back and understand it from that mindset. And then you have some people that are just, they don't understand that we've had a 14-year program. They don't understand we have over 140,000 patients. And some people don't understand from a marketing perspective that a patient is a loyal brand customer. Like they're going to go to your brand, they're going to go to the same medicine they need, what they need. Whereas a commercial consumer might not be as loyal of a customer, right? So from a monetary perspective, I would be thinking you'd want to build your patient customer base and that you'd want to cater to them just by knowing that they're going to be a retainable, maybe more predictable customer, right?
Yeah.
But I think that everybody's fighting for that 2.1 million people in New Mexico
Yeah.
rather than 7%, which is about 140,000 there. And so when you look at it, you can kind of see that it's a little all over. I'd be willing to have discussions about this. And that's why I want to get this individual on so that we can learn more about kind of what's really going down.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. Josh, go ahead.
Yeah. And everybody, if you missed church on Sunday, you just heard Shannon preach it to you and some cannabis gospel right there.
Yeah, no, and Shannon, you're correct on all that. I agree. I just wanted to kind of get, everybody's little perspective on, where do they think, the mindset would be? And mine would be either flat out don't care or just uneducation. That they're just uneducated on the law, uneducated on the program, uneducated on the cannabis community in general in New Mexico, because it started medical. We were the first state in the nation to have a real medical cannabis program. California did it years later and better, but and it lasted longer, but than the first program, excuse me. But we still, we're still there. The patients, we've been there the whole time, and it was on the backs of us that this started. So there's no reason to keep us out.
I think it's just lack of education, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Through my personal experience with my family and stuff in Oklahoma and working with, my stepdaddy, Dan, rest in peace, and my mom, they were super excited about it and they didn't know all the aspects of it, a cannabis nerd I am about everything I do. And I think about it now since we talked about it, to kind of undug that up, thinking about, when we started and how the excitement and my and like I said, my mother and stepdaddy Dan, were just so excited and really didn't understand all the rules and the regs and stuff. They were just like, we're going to grow pot, we're going to sell it. Woo-hoo, And so I can see how that excitement with lack of education can really take you, not doing anything, you know what I mean? You're not trying to do anything mean, or you're just trying to, in your own way, you're just trying to do what's best for your business and out of the excitement. Or maybe you're scared to sell to medical patients too, right? Because you don't feel like you know enough about it, because you're new to it and you don't want to hurt, you don't want to give a medical patient this or that, or so after we just talked about it just now, I mean, this all lit up my little brain. It's only two brain cells up there and they fight each other because I'm a cheerleader. I just thought about all that, the excitement, maybe not knowing, and then just now, like, well, maybe I don't want to, I'm not smart enough to sell to medical patients. Maybe I'm not educated enough to it. And I could understand that too, where you would never, ever want to harm anybody because your lack of education in the medical world, and maybe that's the idea too, more education about all cannabis is medical, even if it's used recreationally, like we talk about, and killing the stigma. And just, I realistically think more lack of education and nothing out of mean spirits. The majority of the people in the recreational program I've met have been nothing but wonderful people trying to do the right thing, genuine souls. and just really getting after it. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes they're not fully educated on things, and they're driving hard in the wrong direction. But God bless them, they're driving hard. So as long as we can help, as a community, steer them in the right way and everything else, I think that helps too. And like Shannon said, you don't need to be all Nazi Germany like me sometimes on it. But that's kind of my personality. Sometimes I'm just like, hey, I hear, or you know what I mean? So definitely gonna take a softer touch now, Shannon. I'll work on it.
Hey, I'm also guilty of calling things out. I mean, in college, I had friends that used to call me ball buster. You're such a ball buster, I'll just say that. And I'm pretty blunt, but the reality of it is I've noticed, like you said, and I've been working with a lot of these small businesses. Some of them have never been in business before, let alone been in the cannabis industry. So this is a beast. In 1 year in the cannabis industry, you're going to feel like you had 7 years of your life, like in dog years, because you're going to learn so much. So yeah, I see all of that combined together as kind of a recipe for some of this, right? It's like, but we don't know the stories, and I'm totally interested. So if anybody's hearing about this, please hit us up so that we can continue the conversation, because I think it's important, and I think we're going to see how it plays out. We have regulations coming down the pipeline that we don't have a lot of support around. Everyone's interpreting them however the hell they're interpreting them.
Yeah.
And then we have the market we have. So it'll take time.
Yeah. I mean, there's even confusion around like the border checks and everything too. So, that could be like a whole episode on its own, to be honest. So we won't get into that. So I guess we'll just keep on with the businesses and everything, talking about that. We unfortunately had an incident this past week in Las Cruces, and Josh and I were kind of, just submerged in it because we live here. So it looks like a bunch of kids had got some edibles, their hands on some edibles.
A bunch of kids? What's a bunch of kids before you start adding this media?
Okay, excuse me.
Yeah, come on now, Devils.
Small group of children.
How many?
It was probably maybe 2 or 3 kids.
Okay. That's not a large group to me. Okay. I'm just making sure we're
by definition.
Keeping it out there.
But anyway, so these kids, they one of the kids or whatever ended up getting a bag of Cheetos that was infused with THC. However, on the bag it says CA on it, meaning indicating it's from California. However, you can get those packaging online. So it could be someone here in New Mexico either making it, because what they do is they take the Cheetos and spray it. It's gross. It's gross. Don't do that. And then they just repackage it in those little packages, or they go to California, buy it from somewhere, wherever, even black market, the same way that they're going to do it, bring it back in bulk, try to, risk it and sell it here. So either way, it's not legal, because even the packaging, if it says California on it, that's totally illegal.
Well,
Josh.
And then just the way it's packaged, right? It is like a cartoon character and all this crazy stuff. It's
not a lot of cartoon characters here.
Yeah. So in the state of New Mexico, that's where Josh might get a little Nazi on some stuff. Like if I go into a place and see you selling realistically like California packaged, like all the runts and the Skittles and all that crazy stuff that I know is completely illegal, where it's from, because allegedly I came from the black market, people, allegedly. So and to be honest with you, being in the cannabis industry, as a cannabis person, I have to keep my hand on that heartbeat too. And I'm fine with it. Like, I have nothing against the black market, everybody. Like, don't think I do. It has nothing, you know what I mean? It's just part of the cannabis industry to me, and always will be. But if you're a legal cannabis industry, like, legit dispensary, and I walk in there and you're selling some Cheetos, the same ones like these kids got a hold of, like, you and I mean, I'm gonna ask for the manager, and I'm gonna have a talk, and I'm I'm gonna be very friendly about it and just let them know, like, you can't be doing this. It's against the rules and regs. And and the reason I'm going to do this, people, is because I don't want to get slammed with harder rules and regs because they get caught doing something dumb, and I have to.
It falls on all of us.
I will not.
Right.
Yeah. So that's where we fought this far to get what we have here. We're not like Oklahoma. It's harder to get a license. I know everybody's like, oh, New Mexico's like Oklahoma. No, I've been to both and got licenses at both. So it is not even close. New Mexico's about 100 times harder, if not 1,000, than Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
So
definitely,
yeah, water and everything else. But so, what I mean? That's my thing with the out of state stuff and keeping it legal and keeping it legit, everybody. And I will do it in a very friendly way, but I want you to win. And you selling illegal stuff, you are not going to win. No. And you're not going to help your family. You're not going to feed.
That's a short game.
Yeah, you're not. So that's all. There's my rant.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah, and I just wanted to chime in, that on one of the local group pages, the Las Cruces community watch page, someone had posted that, and this is where we found this out. You know, this guy had, it was a big old reefer madness post and blah blah blah, this is coming from dispensaries and this and that, I know it's legal now. So I went on there and actually made a post to clear some stuff up, because there was a lot of misunderstandings in that post and a lot of stuff that actually wasn't true. So I went in, made the post. Well, the admins of the page actually ended up removing the post, my post, and leaving the other guys, and they took comments off. But that's the kind of thing that we're going to be fighting. And, you know, even if you didn't do anything, it is your responsibility. It's your fault. You got to take responsibility for it, guys. I took responsibility for it myself. I even did it in a post. I said, I know I didn't do anything, but we would take responsibility for this. We have to ensure that the public is educated as well. And it falls on every single one of us in the industry, even the users. So, you know, be a smart user and be a smart industry person. Shannon, do you have anything?
Well, you know, I'm just going to say stigma when I see this. And, you know, we've worked, like Josh said, and Chad, I agree with you guys. And I think a lot of our viewers and listeners agree too, because we hang with a group of people that have worked very, very hard on this industry. And really, the reality of it is like, we're not proponents of giving children cannabis or pets if they don't need it, unless they have a condition, unless they need it, all of these things, right? And so what this does is it essentially perpetuates the stigma that we've all been fighting for so long. And then for me, it's more about, you know, responsibility around re-educating our state, right? So we haven't, you know, the Department of Health, bless their hearts, at the Medical Cannabis Division, they had the chance to really educate from a public health perspective, and they still could, right? So I hope that we get some sort of a mechanism in place, because as you can clearly tell, state departments across the board were not educated on cannabis.
No.
And that in itself trickles down into the community. Our media isn't educated, so they love a good story about hot Cheetos getting into some, you know, preteen's hands or some child's hands. So we really, as a community, we work very hard to validate, professionalize, and to educate ourselves. I like to say undereducated instead of, you know, and I say that with love, but there are some people starting up that aren't that just have a -10 perspective of cannabis, and they never, and so like we have to bring everybody into some sort of a baseline around this. But in our community, you know, labeling, keeping product stored responsibly away from your children or anybody that shouldn't have it, and your pets, and also microdosing. All of these things are concepts in our community that are pretty much thrown by the wayside when we see a bag of hot flaming Cheetos at 200 milligrams of THC floating around our marketplace, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that it's going to be a hot topic for a long time. And guess what it does? It gives all of the conservatives and anti-cannabis folks that whole line of, I told you this was happening, we were expecting this. And it's like, oh shit, you know? So
and then we even take it further. We're like, did you see them shooting up them Cheetos? I seen it.
My kid was snorting Cheeto dust.
I seen it.
Yeah.
I know. I grew up that way. I know exactly. I get a little radical. That's where my rants come from. Woo!
It's one of those things where you see it and it like validates that other side, but at the same time, the page on Facebook you're talking about, Community Watch, I mean, I want to encourage those folks, if they're listening, if they're viewing, whatever, we'd love to have you on. Number one, because we're amicable people, right? And we know everybody has their perspective. Number two, the reality of it is we've been criminalized for a long time. Mexicans, Blacks, primarily, race war against, you know, so a Crime Stoppers and a community watch around this isn't what's needed. I say education is what's needed. We've already been there, done that. DARE program, McGruff, all that stuff, right? So I'm encouraging that group to want to have folks like us on from an unbiased, educated perspective, right? Granted, we're a little biased, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, for the most part anyway, because you know, we're going to be fighting the stigma for a while, and this doesn't help. You know, this set us back a while. However, I did try to get ahead of it. You know, I found out about it and I thought about it and actually contacted the media about it. And so now we're going to actually do a proactive story where we're going to talk about noticing or helping parents recognize black market versus, you know, recreational or legal stuff. So that's one thing that I wanted to get ahead of, is I didn't want the story to be like, oh, you know, this and that, they were right. I wanted to be like, no. This is just from the black market. The black market's going to take a long time to shrink down. And we're still going to have issues from it. This is not from the recreational side. Yes, cannabis is legal, but kids are not allowed to have cannabis, and they got this most likely from an illegal source. And if they did get it from a legal source, those legal sources do need to be reported to the CCD. You know, they just plain as that. You know.
Yeah,
I
you know.
agree.
Yeah, so that's one aspect of it. You know what I mean? Yeah, it helps the self-police and everything else like that. On a positive note, Las Cruces, the city council is positive with cannabis. This doesn't help that fight, guys.
No.
But so you know what I mean, going to reach out to them, and then maybe through the city council we can help with the schools and help as a citywide education, just not our school, but everybody. And you know what I mean, take it upon Las Cruces, since they have been proactive. I love that about this community here, that they've been, you know, they want to watch it thrive, and that, you know, maybe, you know, with the people here in the community, you know, to take some of those funds and put it into more education as you know what I mean, for everybody, right? Because the more that's the thing. In the last, like I've said it a few times, in the last, you know, 9-10 months, I've read more books than I had in my entire life, and I still read quite a bit. The more you learn, dude, the better it is. Really, like you're less scared of things, you're just happier about things. So even cannabis, the more educated you are about it, the better off it'll be for everybody. And yeah, we definitely don't want little kids getting a hold of cannabis. I was one of those dudes that didn't smoke it till I was 21, or 20, something right there.
Right, definitely. So, but yeah, I mean, that's really what we're trying to get out, guys. Just let's self-police. Let's ensure that kids aren't getting a hold of this, and let's just try to follow the rules that are put in front of us. We have an opportunity right now. You know, everybody went legal. We're trying to go legal. Let's just do it right. You know, that doing it not right, that's short game, and you're not going to last long. You know, that's just what I have on that. So moving on, some positive notes. We're going to end the show on a couple of positive notes here. So last week, after we put the show on Wednesday, Josh and I and a couple others went down to Otero County, my hometown area, and we went to the Otero County Commission, and we actually had a really different experience than we thought was going to happen. Josh, go ahead and, you know, kind of give your side.
I got to give MVP Colt Demorse.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Colt Demorse.
Get him a trophy.
Yeah. I think I am. I think I'm gonna have to find him a little trophy, because he earned that.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
So Otero County, if you know, is very like Josh, kind of redneckish.
It's kind of South Parky.
Yeah. No. Yeah. They're a little more fun than that. But no, they're actually, here's what it was. Like, Chad and I were driving down there thinking, oh man, I don't know how this is gonna go. This is gonna be like the Great Wall of China here. I don't think it's you know,
we're gonna get booed.
Yeah, we're like, okay. So, and then we go through the border check allegedly with some medicine. So just throw that out there. Anyways, we're cruising through, and we get to the meeting, which is out at the fairgrounds, which is great. Wonderful meeting. It turned out to be great. We stood up, we signed, we were speaking. They had some things in there about feminized seeds and males. They had some that's the thing I kind of went after. Colt went after the hours there in the county.
Fence.
Yeah, there was a fence about personal grows, which we listened to and we all understood. You know, I mean,
we weren't really going to win that battle there.
no, there's certain battles, like, you know what I mean? Scott Ramson, you know, he always tells me, are you willing to die on the hill for that? So that's always something to look at too, which you can, but it was good. So we got the non-feminized seed thing, which they just didn't understand. They were uneducated about it. We gave them a little education. It was great. I actually got to do some question and answers in the meeting with people. It was fantastic. And it was opportunity to educate. And, you know, Colt, Chad, there was a few others there with the high horse team too, that took that opportunity and did it well. So yeah, so it ended up being beautiful. You know what I mean? Chad threw it down there. He, you know, hometown boy stuff, talking to the lady with her son played, yeah, for baseball or whatnot. And looks like we might be transferring some salve their direction to try it out, to understand cannabis is the way it is. So I couldn't be happier with it. Like, I was really thoroughly impressed with how well that went for the way the thought process was. And then at the end of the meeting, you know, Colt was stood up one more time talking about, you know, not discriminating against people and different had jobs at nights and everything else, and people, medical patients that maybe, you know, everybody's like, well, you have your medicine, you have thought out process. Well, everybody's lived life. Y'all live life, right? Life gets a little crazy sometimes. It don't like all of a sudden you're like, you wake up on Monday and all of a sudden it's Saturday and you're wondering where the rest of the week went. So, oh, I forgot to get medicine. It's 1 o'clock. I got insomnia, 1 a.m. that is, so it'd be great to be able to go get something that could help me fall asleep, because if not, yeah, I'm up till whenever. I don't know sometimes. So yeah, I think that was great. And like I said, dude, just the education purpose of it and then talking to them afterwards, great stuff. Like I was thoroughly impressed. Hats off to you, Otero County, for doing what you did and standing up for the people, like and helping a business thrive in a new industry. God bless y'all.
Yeah. And congratulations on being not just the first city, but the whole county allowing 24-hour sales. So that's very historic for the state. So Shannon, what is your take on that whole spiel of what, went down?
I love hearing it. I think you guys, that was a great job. You guys showing up. I mean, showing up in person is meaningful. So thank you guys for doing that. I think it's going to take more of those types of discussions to make progress. And yeah, I mean, I get it. And I'm glad that they're receptive and open to the discussion. You know what I mean? So that's positive. That's all great stuff. And let's just keep up the good work. I mean, I think that over time, the more messaging and the more they understand, the more receptive they're going to be, and seeing happy, friendly faces, right? They might be expecting, a group of a mess of drug addicts walking in. I'm just going to say that from a stereotypical perspective, but we just squash that stigma right off the bat, right?
Yeah.
And so, showing up professionally is so important for these people. And then, you get to befriend them and give them sound bites for the media that they can use eventually and help them out. Right. And so that's what it's all about. I love that. I love that information. I think that the people of Otero County are going to have a nice setup there. And I hope that we can bring some of that progress to some of the other counties and cities here in the New Mexico area.
I agree. Cause I mean, if we could say, one of the most conservative counties in New Mexico, is being progressive with this cannabis industry. I mean, we can probably, get Bernalillo to, change their mind on a few things,
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah. That's my next visit. Going to go visit Burnco.
We're going to change some things over there.
Yeah, those guys, they need a lot of education too. Everybody I run into. Well, I mean, it's just not Burnco. It's every other county that you run into. And thank goodness, like Lee County has some smart people, Brian's Green Care. There's a couple other people down there that I haven't opened up and seen it's okay to mention their businesses yet. But, up there educating. There's people in Carlsbad that's educating, Ruidoso, all over. It's about education and stuff like that. And maybe if you're new to it and you don't know what to say, email us. We're, right now we're actually with the High Horse crew, we have people on the retail side that come around with us, and we're help coaching them to be better at public speaking, because don't we all remember? And it's still pretty stressful to me. So so to be able to help and just be able better educated, and like Shannon said, sometimes you need to dress a certain way, and you have to be a professional way, right?
Yeah.
Now people are like, well, that's not me. Well, if you're going to progress this, sometimes you have to be a better version of you, or maybe a less version of you, wherever you're at. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. Like, I don't like wearing suits and ties, but I will do it because it will progress the state of cannabis for me. You know what I mean? And it helps. And it lets people know
nobody's going to invite us to the table. Okay. We have to invite ourselves and show up to the table and pass the peas and the salt and create our own serving. And we have to, and it takes 4 or 5 times to show up doing that before you understand what the F is happening at these meetings. So for the first couple times, all you have to do is go and just listen, just be there. Yeah. Then once you get your wheels greased, you can really start to participate and consider participating when you get the hang of how to address them, what to say, how to bite size it. Cause they're only going to give you 30 seconds, maybe 2 minutes, right? On some of these public comments. And then learning how to write. What's that?
I've gotten 4.
There you go. That's a record. And learn how to be concise and take the emotions out and point to their regs and all of these different things. It's a skill set, But I think that a lot of, and I always marvel at some of these entities that don't get involved, but then just deal with the repercussions, right? Because people that are getting involved in policy are doing it for the community and likely so that they can move their business in a certain way around the community, right? To
Yeah.
service that community. So I think that we have so many layers in cannabis that between now and federal regulations, we have a lot of work to do. And then we'll do all that work and they'll pull the rug out from under us when they shift federally, right? But we're working for now. I mean, and so as you guys are doing this type of stuff, it's helping businesses that you can't even see yet. Right. So that's the whole point of that is, activism and advocacy is to get involved.
Did you get ordained, or what is it, ordained or whatever, ordained, what is it? As a
Ordained?
minister? Yeah, ordained as a minister last week? Because man, you got the gospel going on, woman.
Can I get an amen?
Amen. Hallelujah. Dang. Yeah, I love it.
feel it.
Yeah.
We got a movement here going on.
Yeah,
No, I think I'm learning a lot more. I mean, I'm learning too. And every time I hear these stories, it's like, okay, how can we, and I've been in front of highly conservative groups before where they want to shoot my head off.
Yeah.
Some of them, likening me to Michelle Lujan Grisham and taking it out on me and all this stuff. I'm okay with that. I'm not, but I mean, I'm not Michelle Lujan Grisham. I'm saying I'm okay with all that, but it's taken a lot of those conversations for me to become comfortable and not to take it personally.
Yeah.
So, it is a skill set, like I said.
Yeah. And guys, Josh and I and Shannon, we're not going to be here forever. So, the younger generation, it's your turn. That's one reason why we're doing this, because, we know we're not going to be here forever, and it's going to be up to you to make sure that this industry progresses and stays on track to where we really want it, and, things will change in the future, of course, needs, whatever, wants and all that. But, we just have to make sure that the industry does flourish. So one good thing that did come out the commission too is we also met the county attorney, and he also happened to be the owner of the orchard that the Growers Cup was at this past weekend. So we already knew about it. We were going already, and it was just funny to meet him in person and be, oh yeah, I own it. And so, we saw him walking up, and I guess we'll talk about the Growers Cup now. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. His family owns it, not him directly.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
Yeah,
His family.
It's family. I bet it's a family business because it was gorgeous up there.
Oh yeah, it was.
Great stuff. Shout out to Scott Ramson for killing it. He's bringing him home and a honey pot. If I said that right, I think so. Lori. Yeah. Which is so great. Hats off to y'all. Love Scott and everything they're doing. The event itself was really cool. It was nice. It was in a little orchard, and there's cherry trees and apple trees. They had lemonades, they had food trucks. Everything was cool. It was really really cool event in the middle of nowhere, and you don't expect that out of middle of nowhere. Like when I hear events in the middle of nowhere, I start thinking about my Carlsbad camping days. So I'm like, yeah, and a 30 pack ain't no fun to me. So but no, it was really cool. Got to see Mendo Dope, got to talk with those gentlemen, which they're cool. Out of California. They deal with a lot of the same industry woes that we've dealt with. So that was very nice talking with them. They are very community oriented, bottom line. Great. You could feel how genuine those people were. Yeah. So that was cool.
Regardless how you feel about the music, they're still genuine dudes, Yeah,
definitely.
Growers.
Yeah, and growers. That was another thing. Like they were genuine growers, so they could talk to you about growing. But yeah, everybody out there had fun. I seen children, were out there, not participating people. They were just out there. It was a family setting, is what I'm telling you.
It was like a big old just festival. It was a real cool setting and everything. Yeah, you didn't have
the
people
children weren't
cannabis.
selling hot flaming cannabis Cheetos from California.
Oh no. I mean, maybe one or two, but
I bet I could have got a better deal if they did. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. So
well, I'm glad that it went well. I heard about it. I'm glad you guys both went. Did you guys take a group out there and stay all day, or what was it like, the ambiance there? I mean, was it an all day thing, or?
You could do what you wanted. Like if you spent all day to listen to it, like we spent quite a bit of time there. And then in the evening, we went down and had some lunch. Or had like I guess brunch, what I mean, whatever, between dinner and lunch or whatever.
Dinner.
Yeah. Late a late lunch pretty much to dinner. Yeah. So we went out there with Colt, because we spent a lot of time with Colt. So he was out there. And then some other people that we knew. I was fortunate, some people from Carlsbad that I knew, people from Ruidoso, all over, right? It was great to see quite a bit of people from all over. Craft, was it Las Cruces Craft Cannabis, right? Those guys threw some fire down in Concentrate.
Oh yeah. There was a lot of fire, and and congratulations to everybody that won by the way, because there was a lot of really good cannabis out there. I got to give it to it. And Be Nerdy, shout out to you, buddy.
Oh, Be Nerdy. Yeah, I gotta throw a post about your bud, buddy. Woo, that stuff was on point, buddy. Oh, it was good. So I got transferred. That's all I'm saying. I got transferred some bud. It was wonderful too.
Without financial consideration.
Yeah, not even a thought process of it. It was just all enjoyment for free.
Yeah. Whenever we say transferred, we mean without financial consideration. So
really, yeah, walking that line.
But yeah, I mean, Shannon, you got anything else? Because I mean, we just wanted to update on the Growers Cup. Want to update anybody on anything or shout outs?
Well, right now I do want to shout out to Scott. I think Scott made us some, and Viva New Mexico. They made us some
right?
Killer. I'll go ahead and killer t-shirts.
There it is.
Okay.
Ooh, the merch.
I'm going to give you that perspective. And if you don't have your t-shirt now, make sure you get one soon so you can be sporting this NMCannaCast, gear that we have out there now through Viva New Mexico. And I think that, pretty much as far as getting some more t-shirts going, we definitely need your brand. So if you want us to shout out to your brand, hit us up. Otherwise, no, I think for now things are like rocking and rolling, stabilizing a little bit. I'm feeling some of that happening. People are still applying like hotcakes, man. Like we're working with some small businesses, and I've been working with small businesses lately. And I know my phone's ringing off the hook for stuff like SOPs and freaking, helping launch, companies and all of that, and training. Everybody wants training. And so I do want to encourage people to, continue to do the positive work. And then also, I think in our next episode, we should talk more about, patient access. And if you guys have any topics that you've been listening to us and you're like, I really want them to hash this topic out, make sure and send it in so that we can consider it.
Yeah, and maybe I'll do another poll on Facebook or something, because that was pretty cool the first time we did. So, it gave us some pretty good topics.
Yeah. I think recently we've just been going off of the fumes of opening day, right? And like kind of trying to like figure out what we can talk about. And we've been doing a great job of that, but we definitely could open it up to some, some guests and some other topics coming in. I think that's where we're headed next.
Yeah.
We also, you guys being in Las Cruces, I'll be down in Las Cruces on the 19th and 20th. And so if anybody, wants to visit with CannaCast, with NMCannaCast, let us know so we can, say hi. And otherwise, I think that's pretty much it. I think this is a good short show, and we gave some good information.
Well, actually, we're on for 37 minutes right now, so it's actually a little over what we do. So it's actually a good show. It just felt short because we're having fun. Yeah, exactly. So I guess I'll give my shout outs and everybody again. Scott Kraling, that's what I figured out how his name said, how you say it.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed his last name.
Yeah, Scott Kraling, I guess is what it is. Yeah, from Viva New Mexico. He makes some really good stickers too, guys. I actually bought a bunch from him. One's actually on my water bottle right now, the little Roadrunner right there. So hit them up and everything. We'll get more people in the mix, and yes, come get our shirts. Josh and I wear them periodically, especially when we go talk to politicians or something important. We'll wear it just so people know where we're from or whatever. And Josh will wear the high horse, whatever else gear we got. And 20% of those sales actually go to us to help the CannaCast get better. You want to see more cool stuff behind us. You want to see better backgrounds. I mean, buying a shirt helps, but you also get to support the CannaCast in another way. You just get to wear it. It's a cool shirt. I mean, I really like it. The cannabis leaf with the Zia seems to be our thing in New Mexico. So let's just keep on going with it. So yeah, I want to thank that. The Zia everywhere. I even have on my tattoo here. This is technically the Zia there. I may turn it into it.
Well, at the end of the week, I get my 2 teardrops here. So,
I'm getting mine on the hand.
Okay, hard, okay, hard.
Hey, fool. So yeah, that's my shout outs and everything. Josh, go ahead.
Locos del New Mexico CannaCast.
Yeah. I think we should end it right there. That's it. That's all I got. I love to everybody. Remember, it takes a village, guys, in this community. So, we just like to echo what you got out there, and we'll digest what we can and try to help and educate people, right? That's what it comes
Yeah.
down to in the CannaCast. We just want to educate people. So mad love to everybody.
Right on.
Yeah.
High
Cool.
five, guys.
All right, cool. All right, Shannon, get us out of here.
All right, guys, thank you so much for being here with us, and keep watching Everything New Mexico, Everything Cannabis, the NMCannaCast. We love you guys and we appreciate your love. Thanks a lot.
All right.